Hi, this is Kate from the Safeguarding Academy and welcome to this week's 5-Minute Masterclass. This week I'm talking about Section 47 enquiries. Over the last couple of weeks we've looked at Section 7 reports, Section 37 reports and at strategy meetings, and you can find all of those masterclasses on the Safeguarding Academy YouTube channel. In terms of Section 47 inquiries, these occur when a referral is made to a local authority. Now that referral can occur from a number of sources, usually from an education establishment, from a medical establishment such as hospital or GP practice, or it can come from the police as a result of investigations that they have been making into parents or caregivers or surrounding family members. The referral goes into the local authority in that particular area, and it's then the responsibility of the local authority to conduct this Section 47 inquiry. It's called a Section 47 inquiry simply because it comes from Section 47 of the Children Act 1989, and that section puts a duty on the local authority to assess situations following a referral to make sure that that particular child, the subject of the referral, has all of their welfare needs being met. That assessment is usually the first assessment that takes place, and it may be the first time the family's been known to a local authority. It may be they've been known elsewhere, but it may be the first time that they've been known to this particular authority. Or it could be a new referral that's come in relation to a family that is already known to a local authority. But the Section 47 inquiry and assessment is the first piece of work that is done when that referral comes in. In terms of the assessment, the local authority will allocate the work to a social worker, and that social worker will then need to look at the evidence that's there and determine what further information he or she needs to complete their assessment. So that can include talking to parents, talking to other care providers. It can include talking to the children on their own, depending on their ages. It can include talking to teachers, talking to health professionals, and making inquiries of the police to see whether or not there are other issues in relation to the family that will have an impact on the conclusion that the social worker may reach. As I say, that assessment is usually the first assessment that is done. It's called a number of things in different areas. Some places call it a SWAN assessment, which is a social worker analysis of needs. Sometimes it's called a single assessment, so it's an assessment that is done once and then added to as the case progresses, rather than being repeated and updated or updated. It is also known by a variety of other names, but essentially the piece of work is the same. What further work, if any, needs to be done in order to make sure that that child or children who are the subject of that assessment have their welfare needs met? The assessment can take place quite quickly, depending on the nature of the situation, but more usually it will take a number of weeks for that assessment to be completed, as there's always a lot of information that has to be gathered. And as I say, it depends how quickly that information can be gathered from the various agencies that are involved with the family. But ultimately, the purpose of the Section 47 inquiry is to determine the next steps for a local authority to take in order to ensure that a child's welfare needs are being met and how best they can be met. And we'll look at what further work needs to be done with the family, if any, to make sure that those needs are met in the longer term for the children.